In this video, I'm going to share with you how to start a digital agency, even if you don't have a whole lot of experience and even if you don't have a whole lot of money to get started with. This is Mike with Leverage and Digital Marketing Lab, and I have founded multiple multi-seven-figure businesses selling to the small business community in IT services, in marketing services, and in training. And I work with hundreds of other entrepreneurs to help them do the same, particularly in the agency business. So if you are looking to start a digital agency, you're in the right place. And this is an incredible market. I mean, you've probably realized by now that small businesses need a lot of help. And especially right now, we're just coming out of the pandemic as I record this video, and businesses have realized how vulnerable they were if they did not have some sort of digital marketing presence to be able to sustain their business when consumers could no longer walk in the door and buy from their restaurant or their shop or whatever kind of business that they have. And so the good news is there is absolutely no turning back now. This is an incredible opportunity because businesses know that they have to make that investment in digital. And all the numbers reflect it. The number of small businesses that are investing in new websites and e-commerce platforms and services to help them pull all of this together is absolutely skyrocketing, which creates an incredible opportunity for you. So if you have been thinking about starting your own digital agency, I'm going to share with you some absolutely critical advice, starting with my first and most important piece of advice, which is don't. Okay, now you may be thinking, Mike, what are you talking about here? I'm at this video to learn how to start an agency, and I'm telling you right now, do not start an agency. Instead, I'm going to teach you a better business model providing marketing services to businesses, but it is not going to be an agency model. Now, why do I say that? I've got a lot of experience in this marketplace, and let me tell you what agencies are. Okay, agencies are an absolute money pit for the people who found them. They exhaust you, they take lots of time and energy, they require you to use your time and your talent to help your clients. But the reality is, small businesses don't have the money to pay you enough to get ahead. So, what you end up doing is selling custom services that have to be scoped and you have to do proposals and all that good stuff. That's great if you're selling to a very big business that has very big budgets to pay you, but small businesses don't, okay? They don't have the money for those custom services. And you're basing your business model on time and on effort and on getting results for those small businesses. Now, I don't know about you, but the reason I started my businesses is because I want more freedom primarily. I want more money. And I want to be able to enjoy my day, and selling based on time and effort and results does not allow that. Okay. In the typical agency model, every single new client that you get just means more headaches. It means more time that you have to invest in providing services, or you've got to hire expensive talent to be able to do that for you, which is not fun. Managing expensive talent is not fun. And that's the challenge with this model, is that you are leveraging talent. Again, here in just a minute, I'm going to share with you a much better approach. And the last thing about this model that I absolutely hate is that you have clients and not customers. And what do I mean by that? A customer is someone who goes and buys a product and they have no relationship necessarily with the manufacturer of that product, right? When you go to the store and you buy a product off of the shelf, you know what you're getting, you know how much you're paying. You don't have anybody that you're going to call up and complain about that product, or at least nobody personally. You may call their support line or something like that, but you don't have a person that you can call and their cell phone number that you can call and demand things from. Well, that's what a customer is, but clients are exactly the opposite. Okay, when you sign up a client at an agency, they get to know you. They get to know you by name, and they expect to be able to call you up and demand things of you. And I know so many agency owners who have clients that are paying them money, and they just got more bosses. They got more people who can call them up and make demands of them. That's not a business with freedom. That's not a nice lifestyle. And small businesses cannot pay you enough to justify it. Here is one of the most important lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur from Warren Buffett. You know him, right? Brilliant guy and so good at keeping things very, very simple. He's got that folksy kind of manner to him. Here's what he said. You don't get extra credit in business for a higher degree of difficulty. What does he mean? He means that you as an entrepreneur can choose between all kinds of different business models in all kinds of different industries. You have freedom to choose that. And what he's saying is you might as well choose a better business model because you don't get any extra credit in business for a higher degree of difficulty, right? If you're watching gymnastics at the Olympics and they decide to try something that's very, very difficult in their gymnastics routine, they actually get some sort of extra credit from the judges because they did something that was really difficult. Okay, a higher degree of difficulty can get you more points in gymnastics. In business, it doesn't matter. No one is going to reward you more just because you had to work harder. Well, the agency business model is a work harder business. It's client services. It's selling your time. It's selling your talent. And yeah, you can make income doing it, but you never really get ahead, right? So there is a better way. Let's listen to Warren Buffett and take his advice. Now, the question is, Mike, what do I do instead? I'm glad he asked. Let me share that with you. I call it an MSP, a marketing systems provider, a marketing systems provider. Okay, now you may be thinking, Mike, this is just words here. You're just messing with words. I'm not, and I'm going to share with you the very important distinctions that make this a different and far superior business model. Okay, the quick definition: a business or organization established to provide marketing systems as a service. Now, that begs the question, what is a system and why are we selling these systems as a service? And it's really important to understand the small business marketplace and the types of small business buyers to understand why selling systems is a great idea. Okay, over here, you have agencies, okay? On this far right, you have agencies. And this is what you understand, and maybe this is what we're coming to this presentation thinking, hey, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start an agency. The mindset of an agency buyer is that, we've got some sort of, business going here, but we want help creating something customized for us, special for us, so we can enhance our business and get a competitive advantage. Okay. Those are agency services. And those can be valuable services, right? You can provide some sort of competitive advantage to your client by sharing your expertise with them. And if they're booking you up, it's hard for you to be booked up by the competitor. And again, that's great if you can work with large companies that can pay you a lot of money. Okay, very large companies will often spend millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars or more with agencies, right? But if you can sell agency services for tens of millions of dollars to large companies, go do that. Stop watching this video, go do that. Okay, more power to you. But if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about helping smaller businesses, all those local businesses that need help. Unfortunately, those guys are probably only going to pay about $2,500 a month or so on the high side. You'll find some businesses that will pay a little bit more than that. But when you're selling to small businesses, that's a lot of money. Okay. And small businesses, they are evaluating every dollar that they're spending as if it's coming out of the business owner's pocket, right? I'm a small business owner. And if I sign up for something at $2,500 a month, I'm thinking, well, that's a Porsche payment. That's a vacation home payment. That's money for my kid to go to college. Or I can spend it with you, the agency, right? So that means that they are constantly evaluating your services. And that's why in that agency business, when you're selling to small businesses, there is a ton of churn, okay? Which just means that clients come and go, which makes it a very hard business model. Over here on the other side is tools, okay? We all know what tools are, right? Tools are the software platforms that you use, and that's a fantastic business, man. If you can develop a software platform that thousands or tens of thousands of small businesses will use, I'm talking the MailChimps of the world and the ConvertKits and things like that, all these software platforms that we all know of, and maybe you use every single day. I know I use tons of these every single day. That's an excellent business model. That's the kind of business model that venture capitalists are putting lots of money into, and you hear about them selling for hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. Great. If you can do that, awesome. But in between tools and agencies, there is a systems buyer. Okay, so what's the difference between a tool buyer and a systems buyer? Well, tools buyer is someone that says, hey, look, give me the tool, I can do the job. I'll manage my own email marketing campaigns. I'll manage my own website. Okay. And there are lots of those people out there that will try and do that. But most small business owners, the roofer, the restaurant owner, the insurance sales, the real estate sales, whatever, they don't want anything to do with having to manage that stuff. They want to put more roofs on houses because that's how they make money. And that's what they know how to do. They want to, make a better pizza and serve more pizza because that's the business that they're in. That's what they know how to do. So what they're looking for is somebody that can provide a system that will help them market and grow their business. Now, the key difference between systems and agencies and systems and tools is that a system, again, is an organized set of components brought together to work together to get the result that the customer is looking for. And it's leveraging technology so that you can do this at a significantly lower price point than typical agency services. This is not custom work. It's leveraging technology. It's a package of services that we've put together specifically for the customer, and that allows us to deliver it at a price point that small businesses can actually afford. They can put it on the credit card and have it hit the credit card month after month after month and not have so much pressure to get results before they churn, right? Which is a terrible way to run a business. So a system, again, as I said, it's an organized and coordinated method, a set of components working together as a whole for a common purpose. Now, that may be a mouthful, I know, but let's take a look at some examples, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, first of all, what are characteristics of this marketing systems provider business versus the agency that we already talked about? Well, we're selling productized, what I call productized services and systems. So instead of having to write proposals, right, we have a set offer of services that have specific names and price points and boundaries, right? We don't just do anything that the client asks for because it's not a client anymore. It's a customer. A customer buys what is available or doesn't, right? We are designing services that are intentionally not for everyone. We no longer have the flexibility of a custom agency. We are designing services specifically for a certain type of customer, and then we're going to the market with those services to sell them. So they're productized. It's a model that's based on assets, access, and activities. Assets, access, and activities. What does that mean? Well, again, before in an agency, we're selling time and we're selling talent. But now we're creating a system. And I'm going to show you examples here in just a minute. But we're creating assets. That system is our asset. And we are selling access on a monthly basis to that asset. And then we are providing some sort of marketing activities to them. Maybe we're going to post on your social media site, or we're going to send out a newsletter for you every month, or we're going to generate certain leads. But we're going to do it using our assets that we've developed. Again, not custom services. And key here, we're going to leverage technology to pull this off so we can do it with a high degree of automation, and we can do it with really, really nice margins. And we can get scalability without having to invest in a bunch of expensive talent, okay? So let me show you here some examples of what is simply a better business model, okay? And here's the proof. Before I get into these examples, here's the proof. I want you, after this video, to take a good, hard look around, and I want you to try to find an agency selling to the small business marketplace that's grown any sort of significant business. And when I say significant business, I mean any sort of business that's grown into the hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in revenue. Now, you may be thinking, Mike, I don't need to do any of that. I know I don't need to do that either. I don't have to have a business that size to have the life that I want. But if it's a good business model, somebody by now would have done it. Somebody would have figured out how to sell agency services to small businesses and grow a big business. And I've been in this industry for a long time. I know lots of businesses that have tried. There have been several of them that have raised hundreds of millions of dollars from venture capitalists and couldn't do it. Okay. And that's because the model sucks. It's not their fault. They had a bad business model. So let's look at the examples of the companies that have succeeded. This one, Demandforce, sold for about, I think it's actually about $350 million just a few years after starting. Sold to Intuit, the maker of QuickBooks, okay? Because they have an awesome service that QuickBooks knew that they could take advantage of to help their small business customers. All right. Now, what do? They have a platform, it's system-based, it's technology-based. They create campaigns on that platform for specific industries. They offer a low monthly fee, it's around $297 a month. And what that system does is it helps businesses like hair salons and things like that who are based on appointments, right? It helps send reminders to make sure that people actually show up for those appointments, because canceled appointments in those businesses is super expensive. It's the biggest killer of profitability. So they just had a system that really was just focused on that. How do we make sure that those businesses get those appointments to actually show up? But that's an incredibly valuable service, and it can be run as a system, okay, which allowed Demandforce to grow very quickly, very profitably, and end up selling for a whole lot of money. Okay, here's another one that I really like. This company is called Popmenu. Popmenu provides marketing systems and services to restaurants. Okay, really, really cool company. You can see down here what they do: website hosting and design, one-of-a-kind menus, direct ordering, delivery, marketing automation. Now, you may think, Mike, that website hosting and design, that's an agency service. No, it's not. They have templates, okay? And they just do quick customization of those templates for that specific industry. It's very system and technology based, focused on one industry, a low flat monthly fee. Again, okay, you notice some similar characteristics here. These are not expensive custom agency services. And then this one I really love too, BigRent. This just shows you an example of a different model. I don't know for sure, but I've heard that this is about a $40 million a year business. And what they do is they actually don't market their customers' sites individually. They created their own site and they market their own site. And what they do is they sell or they rent heavy equipment. So if you need forklifts and things like that, right? You call up these guys and they take your credit card, they take your money, but look what they do. Our equipment rental network has 102 rental partners serving San Diego. Okay, so these guys don't own any rental equipment. They just understood that they could create a better marketing system. And then they use that system to market their own site, to book the rentals, and then they subcontract the business to local partners. Okay, so they have completely gotten out of the agency business. They're actually building their own asset. And then they're using that, though, to help their local partners grow their business, right? Because the guys out there who own scissor lifts and forklifts and single man lifts, whatever the heck that is, are probably not necessarily really good marketers, are they? They're construction guys and gals, right? They're not necessarily marketers. So these guys said, you know what? We can help you rent out your equipment and keep it rented out. I love that model. And these are all examples of models that can help you build a business as a marketing systems provider. Now, the question I get from so many people when they understand this concept is how, Mike? How do I do this? How do I pull this off? Let me share with you. I call these services that scale. And I've identified, 14 of them that anybody, even without a lot of experience, even without a lot of marketing know-how, can deliver these services because they are based on technology. They're based on automation. They're not based on your time, your talent, or your expertise. It's putting tools and assets to use to deliver valuable services to help these small businesses. Okay. It is a better model. And if you'd like more information about these 14 services, head over to digitalmarketinglab.io/a better model. Okay. I'd love to share with you what these 14 services are that I've identified that scale. Again, digitalmarketinglab.io/a better model. Okay, whatever you do, please study what I've shared with you here and take it to heart. I know that you will. If you take a good look at the marketplace, you're going to see that the agency business model is not one where anybody gets ahead. The business model where people actually get ahead and build a real nice, healthy business is as a marketing systems provider. It is a better business model. You don't have to have a lot of experience as a marketer. You don't have to be an expert or a guru. You don't have to have a lot of money to get started. And you can sell these low price services that still have tremendous margins, generate recurring revenue for you, and will allow you to deliver very valuable services to those small business owners that you want to help. Okay. If you got some good takeaways from this video, please like it. Please leave any comments or questions down below. And please subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you know anybody that would get value from this, please share it with them as well. And head over to digitalmarketinglab.io/a better model. And I would love to share with you these 14 services that scale that you can use to start your digital marketing systems provider, not an agency. All right. I hope to see you there and see you on a future video. Thanks for stopping by.